Sim Shalom, or you have what I just sent, that I wanted to go back over the Torah service and do a little bit of review, because we did a lot, and good teaching practice is doing some review. So I have here the Torah service in my book is on page 394. Let's see, in Sim Shalom. Okay, and we did a lot of the pieces of the Torah service. Now, you guys came from an advanced beginner class, and that really concentrated, and I will know, on the Friday night service. But now we're at, well, Sim Shalom is 394.
I don't
No,
go that
my
way.
Sim Shalom is 139.
Oh, that sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, that is the newer one where they split it up. And Lev Shalem is 168.
I
Okay,
think, Rhoda, you
so-
have mine.
I think so. Thank you.
So
Yeah.
the highlight of Shabbat morning is the Torah service, and then the drash by the rabbi, and of course, and the Haftorah. So that whole chunk, that's a big part of the Saturday morning service. You know, all of the other stuff is lead up to it, and one of the lead up things, of course, is going to be the Shema, which comes earlier in the morning part of the service, in the morning service. So the Torah service starts at the top of, well, you have your own book, and it starts with Ein Kamocha, and that's interesting because that means there's nobody like you. Okay, that's a nice introduction to tell somebody. There's nobody. Wouldn't you like someone to say to you, you know what? You are great. There's nobody like you in the whole world. So it's a nice intro. So I'm going to read the lines. Actually, I broke it up into chunks. So Ein Kamocha is 2 lines. Can anyone read those 2 lines? Janice, can you read those?
Let me put this. Ein Kamocha, Elohim, Adonai, Ve'ein Kamal,
Secha.
Secha.
K'ma'asecha. Not Mashiach. K'ma'asecha.
Ma'asecha.
Okay.
Mala, who, oh, sorry, did you want me to carry on? No?
Yeah, one more line.
Okay.
Carry on.
Malchu Tiach.
Secha.
Sorry. Malchut Kol Olamim.
Keep going to the end of the line.
Oh. Umem Shal Tiach.
Secha.
Techa.
Shal Secha.
Bakol Dor. Bador.
Okay, and we've seen that door vador generation to generation. So it's Ein Kamocha. I'm going to read it and read it after me. Okay, Ein Kamocha. Everybody.
Ein Kamocha,
Va Elohim.
Elohim,
Adonai.
Adonai,
Ve'ein.
Elohim,
K'ma'asecha.
K'ma'asecha.
Okay, so that's a sin, right? The sin has the data on the left. Malchutecha.
Malchutecha,
Malchut.
Malchut,
Kol olamim.
Kol Olamim,
Umemshaltecha.
Umemshaltecha,
Bechol.
Bechol,
Dor vador. Okay, is there anybody who knows the melody and would like to volunteer to sing it? Anybody, want to sing it? Okay, so I think it's important for you to hear how the words go, with melody, so I'll just sing those two lines. It goes in our synagogue anyway. It goes, Ein kamocha Elohim Adonai, ve'ein kama'asecha, malchutecha malchut kol olamim, umemshaltecha b'chol dor vador. Okay, sound a little familiar?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the beginning, and then we have, the next part starts with, then we have, that, still part of that is Adonai Melech, Adonai Malach, Adonai Yimlach, Adonai Oz, Liamo Yitain, Adonai Yevarech, Adonai Yevarech, Et Amo Vashalom. A lot of familiar words here. Then it starts with Av Harachamim. Okay, so is there anybody who wants to read that? I'll read it once so you can hear how it goes. Av Harachamim, Hetiva Virtzoncha, Et Zion, Tivneh Chomot, Yerushalayim. And it goes, Av Harachamim, Hetiva Virtzoncha, Et Zion, Tivneh Chomot, Yerushalayim, Ivecha Levad Batachnu, Levad Batachnu, Melech El Ram Venisa, Adon Olamim. And at that point, it says here, we rise as the ark is opened, and everybody is up. This is whole big pageantry. Would anyone like to do that? Av Harachamim? You don't have to sing it, just to read it. Somebody, okay, Beryl, good.
Al Harachamim Kitiva
Hey Tiva.
Virtzoncha Etzion Tivnei Hamot Yerushalayim Kivcha Levad Batanu Batachnu
Yeah.
Melech El Ram Dinisa Adon Olomim.
Very good. Tov ma'od. Okay, so that's introductory stuff. And now the big time is the ark will be opened. And so everybody's on their feet. And the first words, Vayahi ben Soa, means when it went traveling. What does Ha'aron mean? What is Ha'aron?
Aaron.
It is the name, it is Aaron, but it is also the word for a holy cabinet. It's the ark.
Aaron
that was put the Torah. Yeah, the Aron, exactly, Alin. The Aron is the ark, and Kodesh is holy. So it's the cabinet, it's where we keep the ark. So everybody is standing. Whenever the ark is opened, you have to stand. So it says, when the ark was traveling, Vayehi ben Soa Haron, Vayomer Moshe. Then Moses used to say, okay, and then it says, Kuma, get up, God, Vayafutsu Oivecha, and scatter our enemies. So that is the second part. And then we know that Ki Mitzion, for from Zion, Teitzei Torah, will come forth Torah. It means teaching. The Devar Adonai and the word of God from Jerusalem. And then Baruch Shanatan, blessed is the one who gave Torah to the nation of Israel, Bikdushato, in his holiness. Okay, so this is all very nice. We're making nice stuff in the beginning here. Would somebody like to read that Vayahi ben Soa line? Any volunteer? How about Sherry Lynn? Would you read Vayahi ben Soa for us?
Vayhi ben ha'aron v'omer Moshe Kuma Adonai v'yadu su
Mhm.
oya vecha v'yanusu misanech visanecha mikpanecha
Very good. Keep going. Keep going. Good, great.
ki mitzion teitze Torah var Adonai Merushalayim.
The last
Baruch
one. Mhm.
Shenatan Torah Li'amo Yisrael Bikdushato.
Yeah, sounds like God's little toe. There is a book of Midrash, something about God, about God's little toe. So it goes, Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah, Li'amo Yisrael, Bikdushato. Is that familiar?
Yes.
Familiar, right? And don't forget the toe, God's little toe, Bikdushato. Yeah, I was teaching our English class and I was explaining something about how you spelling the present participle, like you have the word making. So they want to know what happened to the E, M-A-K-E-I-N-G. And I said, so the E drops out. So finally I said to them, listen, the E went on vacation in Hawaii. And they remembered that. So a student was absent and another one of my good students was explaining what we had done the day before. And she said, oh, the E, she said, it's on vacation. Okay, so this is all the introductory stuff. Very good. Okay, so from here, let's see, Baruch. Then we go to 398 in my book, and there's a box in Sim Shalom, and it's Be Anarachetz. But we're not going to go over that now, but that goes Be Anarachetz. Oh, you guys know it.
What page is it in Lev Shalom?
What page, Beryl?
Lev Shalom
The top of 140.
140, thank you.
and
Good,
Lev
good.
Shalom.
Okay.
What page?
170. 170.
Okay,
thank
now,
you.
as I mentioned last week, this is Aramaic. You know, because there's olives at the end of the word where you would expect a hey. Okay. Aramaic used to be the spoken language in ancient times. Okay, so
I didn't know that
wanna-
that was definitely Aramaic when you find the olive
yeah,
at the end like that.
yep. Let me see if anybody else has joined us. Beth, is there? Good. Okay. Beth. All right. Let's clock you in here, Greenberg, Beth. Okay, there's Beth. Okay, and Beth is,
Terry Fox too.
let's see. Hi, Beth. Oh, and Helene, you're here.
Yeah,
Oh,
a little
excellent.
bit late, but I made it.
Okay, we're going over some of the stuff from last week because there was a lot. All right, a lot to digest, and we just want to make sure that everybody is doing this, can do this. Okay, so that we don't have to go over that, but it's Be Anarachetz Velishme Kadisha Yakira Ana Emar Tushbechan, and then the part that I like. Yehei Rava Kadamach Datitach Libi Oraita V'Tashlim Mishalin, and it ends in nun instead of a mem. Believe Yisrael L'tav u'lechayin Delishlam. Amen. And you're going to like this because it's nice and slow, and you have a chance to actually follow it even if you can't follow everything, you can follow most of that, and that's a good feeling. Okay, hi Sherry Fox is in, all right. Sherry, we're going over the Torah service from last week. Just
What
going to do a
page are
little
you on
review.
in Lev Shalom? Sorry.
170.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, so after that, now we get to the big time, the Sefer Torah is out, we're all standing, and now we do some stuff together, which is called antiphonally, like call and response. So then it's Shema, and then you have Echad, but we're going to do that afterwards, and then Gadlu, and we bow slightly. Gadlu Ladonai iti unaromama shemo yaftav. Okay, proclaim the Lord's greatness with me, let us exalt him together. Okay, we're not going to go over the procession. Okay, then the next important part is when they actually start the calling up. So everybody should know their Hebrew or Yiddish name. Nowadays, you can be called by your Yiddish name too, because if that's who you're named after, you are Bat, and whatever your grandmother or your great grandmother or your aunt or whoever it is, that's your name. That's what he gave you. So we start, and there was a question last week, and I was speaking with Myra Greenberg, who is not going to continue with the class because she is really very advanced. And she also does a lot of things, a lot of volunteer work. So she's going to give up her spot to someone on the waiting list. Very, very nice of her.
Carol,
So,
I have a
yeah.
question for my husband.
Oh,
Okay,
A
he wanted
guest
to know
questioner.
why now you're called up as the daughter, it's Bat rather than Ben. Because when he was coming up through Hebrew school in a semi-Orthodox synagogue, it was always Ben.
I can answer that question. I got it.
You got it. Okay.
It's very
Call
simple.
him in,
It's
but I
very
won't.
simple. Very simple answer. Bat means the daughter of.
Oh, right.
If they're calling a woman, they're going to say Beryl Bat,
Mhm.
Beryl, the daughter of, and then it's your father. And if they allow it in your synagogue, and your mother's Hebrew names. He was always called up by Ben
because he's the
because
son of.
Ben means the son of. They were not going to call him the daughter of.
Mhm.
So if he's Yassel, whatever, Yassel, Ben, Shmuel, Vechana, let's say, okay? Why do they have a bat mitzvah for girls? And boys have a bar. Bar is the older word. It means son. They don't call it a ben mitzvah, but bar is the older word, and a bar mitzvah. Answer, okay?
Gotcha.
So you tell him he's not a girl. Tell him what you are, and tell him you enjoy being a girl. Okay. So the another question came up, why does a congregation repeat? But they also add on, because before you come up to do the aliyah, there's a card. Usually there's a card there, which has it in transliteration for those who get scared or nervous and like everything goes out of your head. You say, oh my God, this is frightening. It's like going to the dentist. So it's Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach. Blessed is the Lord, the source of all blessing. It's praise is the Lord, the source of all blessing. Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach. Hamvorach means the one who is blessed. Bless God who is to be blessed. Now the congregation repeats and adds Baruch Adonai Hamvorach. That's what you said. Blessed is God who is to be blessed. And they add Leolam Va'ed.
Forever and ever.
Now it's just like a little circle. And you saying the blessing, repeat what the congregation said. And you go, Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed. And then you say the blessing before the Torah reading. Okay, so it's kind of a little game. First, you go, then the congregation, and then you repeat. So what Myra and I were discussing, she said that her rabbi had said, you do that because it's out of reverence to God. Because those words are so beautiful and they're so respectful that the congregation affirms. They repeat that God is the one to be blessed, and they say forever and ever, and then you answer that. It's sort of like a ring, you know, they're tied together and they add a little bit. Okay, we're adding also. Okay, so last week, Helene did a beautiful set of the aliyot. I would like someone to volunteer to do the aliyah, to do the whole thing, and we'll say the congregation part. So start with Baruch Hu. And this, by the way, is known as the call, Baruch Hu. And we'll see when we get to the Shema. Okay, so Baruch Hu. Anybody want to try the aliyah? Let's see. Okay, I have a volunteer. Alin,
Yeah,
go for it.
okay.
Start with Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorah.
Baruch Adonai,
Baruch Adonai
Baruch
Hamelach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorah Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bacha banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
And everybody says,
Amen.
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 Amen. Say it. Amen. Okay, and the Torah, right, Amen. And now the Torah, so that person is, well, when you have people up at the bima, you know, at the table, the person will move to the side next to the Gabbai Sheni. Then, if the Torah reader had the aliyah, if the Torah reader is the one, let's say I had the 6th reading in the Torah, and the Gabbai, the honest Gabbai says to me, Carol, will you take the 6th aliyah? So then I've just done that. Then I go into my Torah reading. If someone else said the aliyah, and then I start my Torah reading, I start with Amen. Okay? Beryl, you're muted.
Okay.
Beryl, you're muted.
Okay.
Unmute.
The phone keeps
Okay.
ringing.
All right. So if I don't have that aliyah and I'm the Torah reader, I start with Amen, and then I go into my Torah reading. Okay, is that clear? Okay, now after, let's get someone to do the blessing after. Okay, let's see. Sherry, you there? Sherry Fox? Hey, Sherry Fox. Sherry?
I was just writing notes. Actually, I did not know that you don't have to say, I'm writing it down, Amen, if you have the aliyah. That's why I know, and I hear sometimes that people don't say it now.
Well, I
Okay.
don't know that that's true. If they may say, Amen, the congregation, but if I had the blessing,
You're freezing.
then I don't say Amen. Then I don't.
Right,
start
I
with it.
didn't
If
know
I had
that.
the
I
aliyah, then
I
would
didn't realize
go
that.
right into it. Okay.
May I
Yeah, so
tell
listen,
you what
yeah,
what
listen next time.
may I say what my husband said about that? He
Absolutely,
says,
anytime.
when someone has the aliyah, they don't say amen. When they say a prayer, they don't say the prayer. They don't say amen. The person who reads the Torah is saying amen, but it is because they're saying amen to the aliyah blessing. But my trope teacher says that it's a good way to start your Torah reading anyway. It kind of gets you into the melody and the right key that you want. So there's 2 reasons for that.
Yeah.
that I
Well,
heard
in our
about.
synagogue, the convention is if I'm giving the aliyah,
Yeah.
then I don't say that. But otherwise, if I just come up straight, someone else said the blessing, I start with Amen. And the
So it's
congregation can say
really the
Amen,
same.
you know,
It's
to
really the
whoever
same
had the
thing.
aliyah.
No, it's
Okay.
not.
All right,
Not
now I
the same
want.
thing.
Yeah, you know, this is all in individual synagogues customs, minhag.
Mhm.
And I don't know that it's a chok, that it's a law. I know they just told me, when you get up there and you don't have the blessing, just start with Amen. Okay, fine, that's it. All right, so I
But
want someone, Sherry
No,
Sherry
Okay.
Fox, you want to read the blessing after the reading? Okay.
Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chaye olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Very good.
Amen.
Amen. See, it's automatic that we just say amen.
Yeah.
All right, now, but if she is a reading, she's not going to say amen. Okay, and I told you I like this word nata, which really means planting. Now, Tu B'Shvat passed already, but that it was planted, life gave us a Torah emet, a true Torah, v'chaye olam, everlasting life. He planted nata b'tochenu. One could only hope. So that's very nice. Okay, so we got that far. That's really great. Let's see if there's anything else. Okay, we did the Shema. I think we're good on the review. All right, now I wanted to, for today, so we did the Aliyot. Is there anyone who is unsure about how to do an Aliyah and wants to go over it and wants to try it? Anybody who wants to have a shot at it? Who has never done it and is scared out of their mind? Because if they hear you learning Hebrew, oh, come on, you can have an Aliyah. No, I don't think so. Anybody else? Michelle, you want to try it?
Oh, sure.
You're a good reader.
Thank
Okay,
you.
do the one before. Do the first. You're a good,
Okay.
very good reader.
Okay.
Start with Baruch.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaBarak.
Okay.
Baruch
Baruch Adonai HaBarach Leolam
Leolam
Va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech I'm sorry, no. I had to repeat it. Baruch Adonai HaBarak Leolam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Excellent. Amen. Okay, this congregation is going to say amen whether you tell them to or not. Okay, they're going to say it. You listen in your synagogue, they're all going to say amen. There are 50 people saying amen. You can't stop them. You can't stop us. Okay, all right, now, and the blessing after. Cheryl, you want to try it? Oh, Cheryl, you're muted.
Oh, okay, I got it. Or
I couldn't even hear the waves.
you can't hear me? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chaye olam natan b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Okay, only one thing. It's Natan lanu Torah emet v'chaye olam nata. That's the word planted. Nata b'tochenu. Otherwise, perfect. Okay. Anybody else want to try it? Okay, because we're in a closed group here. No rabbis, no cantors here to criticize. No
Carol,
chachamim. Yeah.
I was going to say, even though I know it, when I'm sitting in my seat and I can like spout it by heart, every time because I'm there all the
Yeah.
time. Every time I get up there to do an Aliyah, I get nervous and I stumble over some word somewhere.
All right. So I want to tell you something, Sherry. I've been reading Torah for years. Every time I get up, I am, my stomach drops out. Even though I spent hours studying it, I have a reading tomorrow. I'll probably be up at 6 o'clock in the morning and read it over like 15 times until it's coming out of my ears and my nose. But if I have to overlearn it. If I don't overlearn it, then I get nervous. If I overlearn it and just do it and do it and do it, I'm fine. We have a new student, I think, Ingrid Taub. Yeah, let's see, where's Ingrid? Let me see what you look like. Ingrid, there's Eddie. Ingrid, I don't see
Her
Ingrid.
video's not on.
Ingrid. No video and no
sound.
microphone.
And she's muted.
You're muted. Muted. You want to unmute, Ingrid? And let's see you. And Eddie, how do you say your name? Is it Eddie or?
Eddie.
Eddie, yeah, good, okay. Eddie, do you want to try the? Edie. Edie, like the Edie's ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll remember that. Okay. Did you want to try the Aliyah, Edie?
Okay.
All right, why don't you do the one, since we just did the one before, why don't you do the one after the Torah reading?
Okay.
Okay, that'd be great.
Eloheinu melech haolam, asher noten lanu Torah emet, v'hayei shalom
Whoa, B'chayei olam. B'chayei olam.
v'hayei olam nata
Nata.
chenu baruch Adonai noten haTorah.
Okay.
Amen.
Amen. All right, we got that. All right, so
Carol,
that's where we were. Yes?
okay, my husband and I are doing the Aliyah tomorrow. He still says his S's.
Oh,
So one is going to be Sephardic and one is going to be Ashkenazic. You're going
Yes,
to cancel each other out.
Just
Okay,
go,
well,
go ahead and do it my way.
Yes.
do it your way. He'll do it his way. We used to have, when I gabbed, we used to have a congregant who was an elderly person. And he would read fast and he would read with the Ashkenazic thing. And it drove me crazy.
Well,
But-
half our congregation's Ashkenazic and half does Sephardic. And it depends upon who's reading what, how they do it. And we've all kind of,
That's right. And you all accommodate them. That's the way it
that's
should be.
because it's Florida.
Okay,
Not just in Florida, it happens all over.
yeah.
okay.
It's very
So-
Sephardic down here and
We're
that's
gonna
why-
move on because I want to get to some of the new stuff today. I think you guys are good on the Torah service now. In my books here, let's see, I want to start with the Shema. And in the Sim Shalom, the one I have, the big one, it's 340. So I purposely didn't do
Rhoda,
the
it's
Shema, and it starts
112.
with Baruch Hu.
I didn't hear you, Beryl.
112.
Thank you very much.
She's
And
got, that's the
the-
Slim
The late
Shalom.
Shalom is 155.
Okay, so this is called, the Baruch Hu is the call to worship. You must have a minyan to do this part of the service. And I think the other day, last week, they didn't have a minyan in the beginning when we got to the Shema. And then the rabbi said, or the cantor said, we're going to turn back to this page. We went back because we did have a minyan at that point and we did the Baruch Hu. Okay, so now we have, it's Baruch Hu Adonai Hamvorach, and then the congregation again repeats, Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed. And so we've been
What
through that, but
page
now,
number did you-
Which
Okay, I
prayer?
can't find the bar.
I'm sorry, is it the Shema?
okay, Kriyat Shema,
and the Lev Shalom, what page is that? Are you saying
149, 149 in Lev Shalom.
Rhoda,
Thank you.
it's 107.
107, thank you.
Yeah, the Baruch Hu.
What?
I don't know
In
what I
Lev
do without you,
Shalom?
Beryl.
Okay,
There
that's in
aren't
the
very
Sim
many other
Shalom.
places I can find.
Here,
All right, so this is important stuff now. So the first blessing before we read this, three blessings, before we read the Shema, Kriyat means just the reading of. Okay, Likro is to read, reading of the Shema. We praise God for his gift of creation. Okay, so we have Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, that is the bracha formula. Yotzer, or, does anyone know what or means?
Light.
Light.
Light. Okay.
I'm
In the
kind
beginning,
of,
but
I'm kind of lost because I'm using a different book. It's
go to the morning
after-
service.
Yeah,
We're going backwards. Go into the morning
Yeah.
service on Shabbat morning. And in
Okay,
the
I've got
table
the
of
first-
contents, look. for
oh, the
Shema.
very first part of the service. We're talking
Well,
about.
it's not
Okay,
the very
I think
first
I'm
part,
there.
But it's
Okay,
early on. Okay,
right.
All
The
right,
the
so-
call to worship, right?
yeah, exactly. Good.
I got it.
So Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. That's the first line in the Torah, right? So Bereshit bara means created. Now we have the word yotzer, which in Hebrew also means created. So yotzer, we're talking about the Holy One that we've blessed. Okay, It's the Melech HaOlam, the king of the universe. Yotzer, who creates light, and now we have a synonym of Yotzer, Uvorei, and creates. It's another word for creates. We have like Borei Pri Hagafen. Choshech, what is Choshech? The opposite of or.
Darkness.
Darkness. So God created, remember, and there was day, Yom, and it was all dark. So it was all dark. So that what was created was light, right? In the big void, the dark void. So we have or, here the creation of light and the creation of darkness, the absence of light with dark. And so we have day and night, Yom V'Laila. Osei Shalom, who makes peace, Uvorei, and creates everything. And then in Bereshit, we'll go on, and the 6 days of creation, and the 7th day he rested, Shabbat, right? So that's the beginning of the Torah, is a creation of everything in order. Everything goes sequentially. Okay. I was going to ask if there is any other meaning for the creation of light. Is there any other kind of light that could be created? Not just physical light, like you get up and it's a beautiful morning, you look out, okay, sun's up.
Enlightening.
Enlightenment. What's that?
Like the Enlightenment.
Enlightenment, yeah.
Enlightenment.
Human intelligence. So
Yeah.
now we will be talking about then the 6 days sequentially, how things get from little one-cell things to man, and for the animals, and then man and woman. So maybe it's the creation of the human mind. I don't know, or it's light. And when there's absence of understanding, there's darkness. And I well know that because, like I said, I've in the past gotten up to read Torah, and then it's dark. It's like a dark tunnel in my brain. And that probably has happened to everybody. I understand that people hate public speaking, and they would rather go to the dentist, a lot of people, or die, than be a public speaker. I mean, they could put 500 people in front of me, I wouldn't care. But I'm used to it, but if you're not used to it, it's not fun. Okay, so we're going to go now in Sim Shalom that I have, it's 346, and in Lev Shalem, the big red one, it's 155. Now we're going to go into the
112.
At the call to worship.
112, thank you.
Yeah, we're going to go into the Vyahafta. And as I said in the beginning, we just finished Valentine's Day, and I asked a few of you, what is something or someone you love? And there was interesting answers. And somebody said she loved her Jewish community. I said I love my Yiddishkeit, my Judaism. And most people said their family, their husbands, and their families, their extended families, and their children. And somebody said their dog. I love that person, whoever said their dog. Okay. And my cat. Okay. So now we get to Vyahafta, which is a command. And it's very interesting. We are commanded to love. The Vyahafta, it ends with a personal ending, the ta. It means, and you will love. So we are commanded to love God. It says, Vyahafta et Adonai Elohecha. You will love God. Not only just love God, uvachol levav, with all your lev, with all your heart, uvachol your nefesh, your neshama, your heart, your soul, and all your might. Me'odecha. When you say it's very good, you say tov me'od, like it's a good. It's tov me'od, it's very good. So you have to love God with everything, with your kishkis, with everything, your heart. Now, this is such an important paragraph that I wanted to mention. It is found not only in your mezuzah, it's also found in the tefillin. The first 2 paragraphs, and I apologize because I put them out of sequence, and I said that the second one was the third, and third was the second. This is the first paragraph. Now, I wanted to say something else. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Some people stress the Echad. is one, because this is saying, and we are witnesses that God is one. This is the proclamation of monotheism. Now, if you take the ayin from the Shema and you combine it with the dalet from echad, that forms the word aid. Aid means witness. That's why in my book, it's written with a larger ayin in the word Shema and a larger dalet in the word echad. Okay, we are witnesses. And when we say the Shema, we are saying that we witness, we are testifying that God is one in monotheism. Okay, if you didn't know that, now you know it. So I have 9 roots here. And these words, these roots occur in a lot of tefillot and a lot of prayers. So roots in Hebrew can be 3 letters, they could be 2 letters, and they could be on occasion 4 letters. The root is the guts of the verb. It tells you what the action is, what it's all about. We put prefixes on like the, and, or me, from. We put suffixes on to show who the person is that we're talking to. But still, these 3 letters is the basic meaning of the verb. And you have a lot of these words here. So let's take a look at them. I have ahav, love, and that's in the first Vyahafta, you should love. And then we know the word mitzvah, mitzvot, commandments. Tzav is a command. That's what it means, command. So Vyahafta, okay. Let's see. Mitzavcha, ani mitzavcha hayom. I command you today. Okay, to do this. Daber is speak many times, many times in the Torah. We said, Vayidaber Adonai el Moshe, God spoke to Moses, and Vayidaber Moshe el Adonai, or el Bnei Yisrael, and Moses spoke to God, or Moses spoke to the Israelites. So daber is a very important root, speak. Yoshev is sit. And if you take a look at the English, it tells you when you should say the Shema. It says, these words I command you this day, take to heart, teach them to your children when you're at home, when you sit in your house. B'shivtecha, when you sit in your house. B'shofbecha, so we know that the Shema is bedtime Shema. One of the first things parents who are religious teach their children is to say Shema at night. So shachav is lying down when you teach them, or when you are at home and away, morning and night. That's what we're commanded, in the morning and at night. Kum, when you get up. Okay, when you lie down, shachav, when you get up, kum. And we are told right here about tefillin, because it says kasher, bind it on your arm. Now, I used to teach the boys in the Hebrew school when I had to Zion class, the 7th graders, lovely 7th graders. No comments. That if you're left-handed, you tie it on your right hand. If you're right-handed, on the left. But since most of my kids were righties, I learned how to put my tefillin on the left hand. So I asked the rabbi, I said, you know, I've been doing that for a long time, teaching them how to put it on the left hand. And that's easy for me to do. And technically I'm supposed to do it on the right hand. I said, could I continue putting it on the left hand when I put on tefillin? Yeah, it's okay. Oh, and the Hebrew verb to call somebody in Israel is lehit kasher, to connect with. It's like to bind yourself with, to communicate with. Okay. And katav is write these words. Okay, so it says, inscribe, write these words on the doorpost of your house. It should be on the upper third, on the right-hand side of your door when you're putting on any doorpost, when you put a mezuzah on. Because these words, first and second paragraph of the Shema, are, if you open up and look at the cloth, the Hebrew word for the scroll, the parchment, it has to be a parchment. It can't be something that's on a piece of paper manufactured. It has to be handwritten by a sofer. Otherwise, it's not a kosher mezuzah, by the way. Okay, so if you buy a mezuzah in a Judaic shop, you should, as a gift for somebody or for yourself, you should always buy the cloth. The cloth is a little scroll that you put inside the mezuzah. It's on the right-hand side of the door as you enter a house or a room, on the top third of the door, okay? So it tells you here, say this Shema in the morning, say it at night, say it when you're at home or when you're going someplace, lech, when you're on your way. And it tells you about the mezuzah, the reminder, bind them as a sign on your hand and inscribe them on the doorpost of your house and upon your gate. I guess people in ancient times had a gate. And so put on your gate. All right. So that is very important. This paragraph has a lot of stuff in it. And I guess that's why it's number one. Now, in what I sent you, you'll see in very tiny print on the bottom, it says Devarim, and I made it bigger. So you will find this if you have a Chumash at home, if you have a Torah book at home. If you go to the book of Deuteronomy, that's book number 5 of the Torah, and you go to chapter 6, because it says Devarim, and then there's a Vav, that means chapter 6. Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, Vav, 6. Go to chapter 6, and then there's 2 dots, there's a colon, and it says Dalet to Tet, because we use letters for numbers. Verses 4 to 9, you'll find this in the Torah. That's if you want to check, see if I'm right, you can check and you'll find that in the Torah. Okay, so it's in the mezuzah, the Vyahafta, and also in the tefillin. Very important, of course, and the word Shema, the Shema proclamation. Okay, if we go, and I had messed up on this, if we go to the second paragraph, the second paragraph is Vayomer. I'm sorry, V'hayam Shemoah. Okay, in my book, you just turn the page. You probably just go on the next page. V'hayam Shemoah is the second paragraph. There's 3 paragraphs. So if somebody says about reading Shema, when you're in the synagogue, first of all, the rabbi will tell you if you're wearing a talit, take the 4 corners, the tzitzit, put it in one hand. And when you do the 3rd paragraph, every time they say the word tzitzit, you kiss. Now it's hard to do with a mask, but supposed to kiss your tzitzit. Okay. But religious Jews will say tzitzis, and their beryl is what your husband would say, tzitzis, and kiss the tzitzis, not the tzitzit. But we're learning Sephardic Hebrew. So v'hayam Shemoah. So this is about listening. This is an if then. This whole big paragraph is if then. And it sets up, if you behave, if you follow my mitzvot, the commandments, things are going to go swimmingly. Everything is hunky-dory. Everything is great. And then we get to the part that says, if you don't, and it gives a punishment. So I'm going to tell you what it very quickly, almost out of time here, what it lays out. Okay, what it lays out is this. If you obey, you'll have rain, you'll have a great harvest. You'll eat to your contentment. You'll have food for your cattle, for your behemah, your cows, your livestock. And then it goes on, and there's a point where it says, and if not, then you'll have no rain, you'll have no food, and you'll perish. And that's exactly what it says. It's an if-then kind of clause. When I'm in the synagogue, and when I get to the good part, I usually stop and I go on to the 3rd paragraph because they go so fast. The cantor and the rabbi go so fast. You can never finish this. So then I get to the 3rd one because I want to be able to kiss my tzitzit on my talit. Now, it's almost 2:30, but what I wanted to show you is that in this paragraph, you have a lot of words that end in chem, and that means you plural. It means your. It means your. So what I did was I went through it, and let's see. If you have the paper that I gave you, if you could, this is the one that's from Lev Shalem. It doesn't matter. I want you to locate these words. See if you can find these words. Okay, there's 12 words that all end in chem. So it's a noun plus chem, which talking to a group means your. So the first one is etchem. That just means to you. What would Elohechem mean? What is Elohim?
God.
Chem means your God. It says your God. It says v'hayim shamoa tishma'u el mitzvotai asher anochi mitzaveh etchem. What I'm commanding to you. And then it says li'ahava et Adonai Elohechem, to love the Lord your God. So it's your God. Then we have the word levavchem. Lev is your what? Your heart. Your lev is your heart. So levavchem would be your hearts. Your hearts. Love the Lord your God with all your hearts. Y'all. It's in the plural. And then you have nafshechem. What's nefesh?
Oh,
Your neshama.
so
Mine.
Your soul. You have
Oh,
your
so-
heart. So the heart
Oh,
and the soul. Your feelings and your soul is interpreted as your mind, your thoughts, your thinking. Okay. Artsechem is your what? What's eretz?
Land.
Man.
Yeah, you
Your
will perish
land.
off the good land that I give you if you don't do this. Artsechem, your land. Lachem means to all of you. Bachem means yedchem. What's your yad? You read the Torah with a yad.
your finger,
So yedchem, your hands.
your hand.
Hands. And they have einechem. What are your einayim? Your ayin.
Eyes.
Your eyes. Okay, now they're talking about your eyes. And b'neichem, teach this to your banim, your ben and your bat, your children, so that you may prosper all yemechem, all of your yom
Days.
days. And the last one, whoops, that I had was, and this is what was told to your la'avotechem, to your avot, av, abba, ima,
Ancestors, fathers.
ancestors. Yeah, they give the translation here, but it's fathers. It means like the patriarchs, the ones who came before you. Okay, and this being Judaism, everything's in the masculine in the prayer books. I'm sure there are la imo, imotechem, your mothers. Okay, so I think what I would like to have you do as a homework assignment, I'd like you to practice reading the second paragraph, and next week we'll go over the third and we'll go on with other things, with v'chayim shamoa. So, and when you turn the page, it might seem shalom after Vyahafta, the big paragraph, not the little one. The little one has the word tzitzit 3 times. The big one, where all these words with chem. And then we'll read it. And I will show you that you know already a lot of these words, and you can read these words because there's a lot of repetition. Okay, and if you look at the English,
Sorry, which page in
in
Lev
Lev
Shalom?
Shalem, in Lev, it's Lev Shalem.
156.
Yeah, 156.
Thank
And
you.
what I sent you was from Lev Shalem.
Yeah.
Okay, and so this is the bigger paragraph, and my boo-boo,
Oh.
I said it was the third. The third one is about seeds, that's at the top, but the big one. So to practice reading it, and then we'll read it together, but it starts off really nice, and then it gets very serious. This is what's gonna happen to you. If you don't, you're gonna have no rain, everything's gonna dry up, there'll be no crops. Forget about wine and all the wonderful things that you have. There's no rain. And the end says, for then the wrath of the Lord will be directed against you. He will close the heavens. That means no rain. They thought that there were doors from heaven, like doors open, rain comes out, doors shut. That was the thought. And he will close the heavens and hold back the rain. The earth will not yield its produce. And as a gardener, this is not acceptable to me. This is not good. You will soon disappear from the good land which the Lord is giving you. In other words, no food, you're going to die. Okay, but if you are good, Then I will favor your land with rain at the proper season. There's different kinds of rain in the autumn, rain in the spring. You will have ample harvest of grain and wine and oil. I will assure abundance in the fields for your cattle. You will eat to contentment. That same phrase, that same contentment is used in the Birkat Hamazon when you eat to your full. You'll feel content, you're full, you're happy. You know, if you feed your husbands and your family, you feed them, they feel good, okay? They'll eat to contentment and then you'll feel happy. So like I said, that's where I usually stop. It says, and I can't find it right now, but there's a part that starts going downhill. And then I go right into Vayomer Adonai El Moshe Lemor Daber El Bnei Israel about the tzitzit, because I can't get through. If I have to cut something, I'm going to cut the bad part out. I assume that I'm doing okay, pretty okay, and it'll go to the last paragraph. So again, I thought that there is a deeper meaning to who do you love? And Vyahafta says, you will love God. And again, to reiterate what I said, if you didn't come on, I'm very much aligned with my Judaism, and I love that in extreme. I love it very much. I am happy that I was born this way. I'm sure that if I were born Protestant or Catholic or Muslim, I would probably like that too. But I wasn't. I was born in the Bronx. So there we go. That says it all.
Carol,
Yeah.
I don't seem to have the papers you're showing. Did you email those out to people?
I emailed it. You came on a little late. I spent a couple hours working on that, cutting, pasting and everything, and I sent it as an email. So some of the students who came on at the beginning of the class said I didn't get it, but if you check your email,
Okay.
you'll have it.
Okay,
And
good. Thank you.
so work on that big paragraph and we'll start reading it and we'll see how much we know. Like I will assure you, there are lots. I didn't pull out all the words. I just wanted to start with the chem words because there's a lot of them. Okay, so we'll work on it. And then the little paragraph, just raise your hand. Do any of you wear a talit to services?
Sometimes.
Okay, some of you do. Me too. I do too. Okay, so if you do, you know that the rabbi will be telling you, okay, they usually tell you when we get to the Baruch Hu, and they say,
Carol,
okay,
can
at
I
this
ask
point,
a stupid
yes,
question?
gather your tzitzit, that's what they mean. Yeah.
Can you wear a talit if you haven't been bat mitzvahed?
Why not?
Yeah.
The prayer shawl.
Sure. Well, I was just
That's not, when you turn 13, a boy is bar mitzvah, he's considered
Right.
responsible for the mitzvot, and a girl at 12, it's a prayer shawl. It's just a prayer shawl. It's not something that is dependent on bar mitzvah, to my knowledge. That's when we give a boy and the girl their talit, but I don't know that being bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah is a prerequisite. I've never heard of that. So you can wear a talit. I have one that my husband bought for me on a significant anniversary, and I wear it. I have a very quick story, and then I'll let you go. I have a friend who moved down to Florida. She became Chabadniki. She used to wear a talit. She had a beautiful talit, and she used to wear it in our shul. So since she became Chabad, she doesn't wear a prayer shawl because that's a no-no. You don't do that. So she gave it to me. She said, I'm going to give it to somebody. It's nice and warm. It's a woolen one. She said, you'll get some good use out of this. I don't use this anymore. And I said, oh, it's really wow, it's a shame. But that being the case, all right, ladies, I don't want to keep you
Okay, see
because
you
I
next
know
week.
it's Shabbat.
Thank you.
We'll see you next.